Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be sitting here with Diana Eskander, a leader of a global movement for women who are ready to receive. I remember working with Diana when I was looking for love, and she helped me so much. I actually found my husband, I think, like 1 month later. So revolutionized my life, and I'm super excited to be talking with her today. Hello, hello.
Hello, thank you for the introduction. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you again for being here. I wanted to dive right in to your work, what you do. What does it mean to be a leader of global movement for women who receive?
It's a good question. So it's evolved, it's evolved over the years. I started off really like as coach and like relationship coach and love coach. And that was really beautiful. And so part of the journey, and it was when I was really working with people more in a one-on-one setting and, what was feeling like challenging and what were they desiring and closing that gap. And while I still do that in so many ways, most of my offerings now are these like expansive group offerings versus the one-on-one model. And so it's really started to take on a shape where, whether you're coming into a masterclass where there's 100 people signed up, or it's like a more intimate space with me, I am reaching people around the world. And instead of just the focus on, let's say like you want a deeper relationship or you want to meet your person, the focus has really shifted towards what is your relationship like to receiving in relationships to all people? And like, let's talk about the real divinity, it being in a woman's body, of being a receiver and being in the feminine pole and playing with polarity between the masculine and the feminine pole within yourself and within your relationships. So it's just taken on this shape where it's like, being invited to speak on stages, and it is less of the like one-to-one coaching model and more of the like wider impact in bigger rooms and focused conversation on how do we get you to practice like being in your feminine pole, and what does that even bring up for you when you think about that, right? So it's been a beautiful shift.
I love that. And what motivated the shift? Like, how did you go from one-on-one to working with groups of women?
I mean, it was really organic in so many ways. I would say it was really organic. Like it was just one of those things that after I did a number of years of one-to-one work, like more people were coming and capacity was like, I can't work with everybody one-to-one. And so it was a real growth edge for me. And still, I noticed myself attaching to old identity of like, yeah, I'm still available for one-to-one, when really it was stretching me to keep doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a natural evolution, and probably also like a ripple effect of myself joining groups and seeing the impact of group and community and sisterhood. And like, especially if the energetics of the community are clean and there's like discernment about who is coming into the space, the expansion that happens in bigger numbers for me has always been really powerful. So I was really excited to bring that to my clients as well.
I love that. And when you talk about this receiving energy and this like aha moment for women, so when you ask this question of like, how do you even feel to receive? What is the feeling? What is the expression? Like, what do you notice the most?
Yeah, there's so many colors of it, shades of it. Some are more comfortable with it than others. Others are like, I don't even know what that experience is like. Like, I'm just so used to being the one who's giving and thinking and, thinking about what other people need, which, I'm a mother. I know what that experience is like, to think about what other people need. I know it very well. But in terms of, let's say, the relationship with my partner and even the relationship within my own self and life, there also needs to be this dance where there's a moment where it's just like, is it enough? Can it be enough? And could I just take a breath and let life and others show up for me? Because what I've noticed for women, and this is kind of like what I see over and over, is the focus outside of yourself. It's almost like if there was a spotlight on you, and then all the focus on like your partner, your kids, your family, what everyone else needs. It's like taking the light off of you. And there's the woman standing kind of in the dark and being like, who's noticing me? Who's seeing me? Like, who's taking care of me? And as women in the relationships of any kind of relationship, it's like we really do set the temperature of the room. We really are like the energetic barometer of the room. And so how we feel is massively important. And so it's just this like, it's this shift often for them of like, oh, nurturing is actually not giving and doing a whole bunch of things. It's an energy. It's my acceptance. It's my love. It's my warmth. It's the tone of my voice. Like it's not anything I even have to do.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that you kind of take off the masks of all these roles that we play in everyday life. And you say like, okay, without those, how are you coming into your own energy? And I want to relate it to my work just a little bit. And
Yeah.
because I see it every day in the cycling journey and
Yeah.
movement journey of women. It's like we have all these apps or tools to decode our cycle, to decode our hormones. But if we take them all away, what are we left with?
Yeah.
And women are just left blank, being like, I don't know how I feel every day. And it's like, how can we go from the external to the internal to
Yeah.
make sure we really see what's happening inside of us without having to use trackers or roles to tell us what we need to do throughout the day, you know, to honor ourselves. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And it really is like back to just the basic of like, even as someone who considers themselves a giver, let's say, like where are you giving from? Like what reserve is there for you to give from? And
Mm-hmm.
I really also love, especially in the context of, you know, a heteronormative context in a man-woman relationship, like the practice and the experience of like, can you let yourself be taken care of? Like what even comes up in your body when you even imagine like putting up your feet and letting someone else take over for a while so that you can be just, you are the energetic being, like you are the energetic quality of the relationship. So you're much better off being in the energy of overflow and joy and, you know, presence and love than overwhelm and exhaustion because of how much you're doing.
Mm-hmm. I feel like when women don't know themselves very well and can honor that, there's a sense of control because there's a sense of wanting to keep safety inside our bodies. And so, how do you get to that safety? How do you allow women to feel that safety within themselves, or even to just tap open that resource for them?
Oh, it's a journey. It's a journey. And one of the ways that I've been really having fun opening up that capacity, we'll say, because sometimes I can't even ensure that it feels safe for you, right? But like what I often say is like instead of waiting to feel totally ready for something and totally safe before doing something, it's like the practice of doing something stretchy and giving yourself what you need in the moment to keep going, even with your heart racing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like even I'm thinking of like I got on stage in front of 1,000 people pretty spontaneously, like a 2-day heads up kind of thing. And it didn't feel safe. I didn't feel ready. Like it wasn't like this, like, oh, I'm so regulated. And like, so it was like, oh, my heart is flipping racing as I'm getting onto this stage. And can I breathe and gather my tools in the moment of expansion versus like waiting on the sidelines to be perfectly safe and regulated before I can allow something to happen.
I love that.
And I think this is a really necessary conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. Like you named it so well. It's like you have all these tools and resources inside of you already that you've been practicing for years and years and years. Even if it's just a month that this woman has joined, like she already is resourcing these tools. And so just to know that she has them and how to just get them out right away. Yeah.
Exactly. It's to call on them. So one of the things that I've been having a lot of fun playing with and inviting women into is like pleasure practice as a way of, I'm not even going to say regulating the nervous system. I'm going to say nourish the nervous system. But I have found that like physical touch to my body, even if it's like one day it's really just a body caressing with some oil, right? Even just the physical touch of that versus like all the kind of like, the breath work. I love all those things, the breath work, the tapping, all the tools. I love them. And there's this thing about, but what if I could actually familiarize my body with feeling taken care of and feeling pleasure and feeling satisfied and like slowing it down? And what if I could just familiarize my body with these sensations? And even if it's uncomfortable sometimes, and I want to stop, and my mind's like, you have other things to do, to stay with the practice. And I have found that that has like exponentially opened the women I work with, their capacity to receive, like, and it's like, it's happening, I want to say effortlessly, although that's not entirely true, but it almost seems that way.
I love that. I'm getting shivers. I just did a whole course and it touched on this so beautifully, and I want to bring it back. Men, when they pleasure, it's a straight line. It's like pleasure, orgasm, done. Women pass through the amygdala, which is the emotional center. So there needs to be this safety. Otherwise, we go to chores, things, da 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 da. There's alerts that go on, and it takes us out of that pleasure heighten. So if we can come back, that's when we have the arousal, and then we come down. So you named it as you said it. It's like, as you're touching yourself and all these things come to mind, how can I stay within myself? How can I stay in my body to keep resourcing and saying like, no, I'm just nourishing myself right now. Let's not bypass, but let's quiet down the voice and say like, we're here, we're good. And when we need to, we will go. But right now we're in this pleasure center.
Exactly. And it's like, let's build a new neural pathway, and let's build this like this new experience. Also, it was a big awakening for me to realize I'm married. I've been with my partner for 12 years, that I completely outsourced my sexuality to him and to us. And I had lost that piece with myself. You know, it was like all sexy time involved him, right? And it was like, oh, but what about me and me? Like, there's just an experience of like making love to yourself, even if what that looks like is caressing your arms, caressing your legs, right? And then of course it can go deeper, but it's like, oh, but there's just the sheer act of that, I find like raises your level of like self-belief and your standards. It's like, if I do this, if this is a regular part of my life, like there's no way in any shape or form I'm accepting anything less than this.
I love that. I love reclaiming sovereignty over our own pleasure practices. What other types of practices do you recommend for women to dive into that safety feeling or that nourishment?
Oh gosh, there's so many. So in general, for me, it's like, it's one thing to think a thought like it's safe for me to receive, but it's a whole other to actually connect that thought to your body. So I'm a big advocate for dancing, and just like sometimes it's fast dancing, sometimes it's slow dancing, but dancing without caring what you look like, dancing without an agenda, and really dancing to let emotions move, right? And sometimes what I love to do as well is like, if there's something I want to anchor in, like a belief I want to bring into my body, it really is like music on, arms up, almost like I'm receiving it in the act of like dancing with it. And it is like no longer just this mental concept. I'm weaving it into my body by flowing and moving and like connecting to the words as I'm saying them, right? So rather than sitting down cross-legged and being like, it is safe for me to receive, which, you know,
it's good for some.
Yeah, it's to a certain extent, right? But I've always found my limit with that. I just find if you can move, like if you can stretch, if you can walk, if you can dance, if you can pleasure, if you can move in some way while connecting to the belief and the intention, I've always found that there is this like true weaving that happens in the body, and it is like it's downloading on a deeper level than just up here.
Oh yeah, I 100% believe and am in accordance with that. I think that's true integration. It's true digestion of all that we're resourcing through us. I want to talk about your talk when you went on the stage.
Yeah.
Who called you up? How did it happen?
Yeah. It was really, so, okay. So I was going to this 1,000-person female entrepreneurship event. She called it like the Burning Man female entrepreneurship. So it's pretty wild. It's like we've got like glow sticks and beach balls bouncing all over the place and like twerking and air guitar concerts and like just it like insanity. Everyone's dressed like rock stars. There's a whole bunch of like booties everywhere and like just it is not a buttoned up blazer conference is what I'll
And
say.
it's only women?
And some men,
Okay.
mostly. It was really for women and then the loving partners if they wish to come.
I love
So
that.
one of the woman hosting the conference, we'll call it for lack of a better word, she's one of my mentors. And so I had messaged her about something and she was like, and I'd love to give you an award on stage. So they had these award applications that I hadn't even considered. I was just going to take myself right out of the game and be like, I don't need an award. Like, what do I need an award for? I also knew that the award came with speaking. So it was like, yeah, I don't need any of that. And when she said it to me and she was like, I would love to give you an award. It's like, oh, this is being handed to me right now. And there's an opportunity for me to either like stretch into the vision, because I know I'm meant to be on stages, or pull back from it. And so I went ahead and applied and was like, yeah, we'll see. It doesn't really matter. Like, I don't, whatever, like kind of just like hedging the whole way through. And then I get the notification 2 days before the conference starts. We'd love to give you a new Money Millionaire award. So the idea of the new Money Millionaire, it's one of the names of her programs. It's like somebody who's making big impact, big income with their heart. Okay, like in a new age way, like with a new type of philosophy. So I was like, okay, here we go. So I just had a few minutes up there, but it was to really share like my story of coming from, like, even though I grew up with what I needed, there was this underlying story of we never had enough.
Mm-hmm.
Whether we had enough or not, I'll never really know, because the message was just that there was this lack. And that I also grew up with a mother who, her love language was self-sacrificing.
Mm-hmm.
And so being up there and like claiming that I'm leading this global movement of women who receive, it was just such a moment, such a big moment. So yeah, it was essentially sharing a little bit of my story and accepting the award and hopefully inspiring something in others too.
I love that. I think that's such a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing. I
Pleasure.
want to talk about that, what you just said about your mom and
Yeah.
self-sacrifice. Is that something that motivated you to do what you do today? Do you think that had a large impact?
I'd say it had a huge impact because I definitely modeled that in my early relationship. So it was like this weird dichotomy of like feeling like my needs weren't met and not knowing how to necessarily ask for them, but trying. But in the same breath, all my focus is externally on this person. And I would say that a lot of people can relate to this, and it's very much anxious attachment, right? It's very much like, I actually feel like I need something right now, but I'm in avoidance of myself. That's what I believe anxious attachment to be, is avoidance of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so my focus is externally on what I can get as validation, reassurance, whatever it is from outside of me. So a lot of my focus in my early relationships was like, what do they need? How do we make this work? How is this relationship going to last? Like, what do I need to do to make sure this relationship stays? It's always externally focused.
Mm-hmm.
And then I really went on this like deep dive exploration of like, where did I get these ideas? And like, why is this here? And how is this working out for me? It was not working out very well. And so what I really saw was this tendency of people pleasing and self-abandonment in my relationships. And so I went on a journey, and when I met Jack 12 years ago, it was really the first time that I experienced myself standing in myself in the face of someone that I really liked. Right? Like it was someone that I really like had these, like this strong connection with. And it was the first time I could sense myself here in my own energy, in my own self, and not just wondering like, will he like me, but being really clear about, this person's amazing and I am too. And it was really the first time. And so I started to just go deeper into polarity. I'm like,
Sorry, I love these
I
bubbles.
know. It's like, why does that have to happen? I started to go deeper into polarity and the exchange between the masculine and the feminine, and like what that even really meant on a deeper level. And so I just started to play with that, and I really practiced. It was very natural with Jack because he is such a giver. So I really practiced like being comfortable, allowing myself to receive from him. And what I saw was that we were both our happiest when that was the dynamic. And even throughout our relationship, whenever that dynamic shifts and suddenly I'm the one more outwardly focused and not in my receivership, there's something that is off between us. It just doesn't feel like there's the same kind of harmony and reciprocity and exchange. And so I just have felt so inspired to really like bring this message forward. And of course, like any message, it's not going to be for everyone. But for those who it's for, it's been a game changer to say, oh, it's actually in my divine design to be like, even the way my anatomy is shaped, right? It is actually to receive. It is actually to be less outward, less directive. I need those moments. I love those moments. That's a very healthy masculine energy. But in my relationship, I really wish to have the dynamic be where I am more in that receptive and he's more in the like providing, giving, doing. And it's the polar opposite of how I grew up and what I grew up observing. And it's been like this incredible homecoming.
A big shift in how a relationship can work and be. When you say receiving, like, can we go a little bit deeper?
Yeah, yeah, because it means so many things, and then some people get really caught up on what it means. Yeah, we absolutely can. So receiving, I would say first and foremost, is really just the energy of like, I can even relax. Here, let's just start with the word relax, right? Like just that, like I can relax, and I can relax in the presence of someone else. Like if we can just start there. I'm not performing. I'm not wondering what I need to do for them. I'm not fixing things up. I'm not controlling the environment. I am relaxed.
So a sense of comfort within an energy around you.
Yes, and mostly like within yourself, within your own experience, period, and then in the energy of someone else even more so, right? So I would say like the first thing I want to say is like just your ability to be relaxed. There's like I don't forget anything else, right? But then receiving, it can look what?
Just yourself, like just relax.
Just relax. Like there's literally, if that's like the only thing you walk away with when I talk about receivership, it's like you comfortable, at ease, not jumping up from your seat, like not this energy of like busy in your mind, like this being into your body, which the only way to really, really deeply practice that in a way that's sustainable is to practice being in your body, right? There is no other way, because then it'll always be this mental game that you're playing with yourself. So there's that. But like, let's say when Jack and I were dating, and now we're married, but when we were dating, it would be, let's say like, he's going to pick something up for me on the way to my house. And there's a part of me that, let me take it back to this example. I have this example so clearly in my mind. It was, I made him dinner. And I remember he was like, oh, let me get up and wash the dishes. And I was literally going to jump up and say, that's unnecessary. Like, I'll take care of it later or tomorrow, or whatever. And I remember just like taking a deep breath, like allowing it to be, because I knew, flashing forward, if we were to stay together, that there would come a time where I'd feel really resentful if I was the one both making dinner and washing the dishes, right? And that I got to set that precedence right there. There's this reciprocity, right? So receivership doesn't just mean like, oh, you don't do anything, but it is the energy of I can allow someone to offer. I can allow someone to do. I can allow someone to also give. I can focus more on my enjoyment of the experience than on what I need to do or give.
and it makes so much sense that in order to do that, you have to be comfortable within yourself first. I
Exactly.
remember when I was working with you, and I mean, you work with so many women now, so I'm sure everything has changed and shifted. But there was one practice that you gave me that still to today, I think changed my life. And I tell women when they're starting to get comfortable with themselves, like, take this practice. It is incredible. And it was picture your best self, picture your like highest power, highest goddess self, give her a name, know what she feels like, tastes
Yeah.
like, all of
Yeah.
it. And then also do the same thing for your like worst self. You're like shy, dry, and give her a
Your
name.
fearful self. Yeah.
Yeah. And then create a bridge. And it's not to be that best self, and it's not to shame that weaker self. It's to bring them together and say thank you and be grateful for both sides. And that was a game changer for me. It's like, oh, it's not about fixing, it's about releasing and relaxing and being like, I do have these two sides of myself, but more than that, I'm just me in this present
Exactly.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. It's literally you as a woman who receives is you just being.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard concept, right? Because then we could take it further, and then I have people asking questions like, well, who should pay on a date and all that kind of like it's like specificity, but it's not even about who's going to pay on the date. It's like, could you even relax enough that when the bill comes, you don't feel like everything's on you? Like you don't feel like there's this thing, not that you can't pay the bill, that you could actually just relax around the whole scenario. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That you could be enough in yourself that it could just be like this like easygoing experience. And that's really what it means to be she who receives. It's like there's all these deeper layers of what receivership looks like in the bedroom. Like there's so many layers of it. But at the end of the day, like you just said, can I just be? Can I just be me and not worry and not operate always from my fear, but also call on this higher self that's like, well, how does she show up in this moment?
Mm-hmm. Love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's so important to find that deep, deep comfort in yourself and have those resource tools to take that breath or take that moment just to say, like, how do I feel right now in this
Yeah.
moment before
Yeah.
I react or jump to something? Wow. That is hard also. It's very difficult to do that. So
It is.
thank you for teaching.
I think it'll be a lifelong devotion. Yeah.
It is, I think, because as we evolve, little things come in where little triggers of our past draw in. Maybe it's a thought of our mother comes in, or a father, an archetype joins our present, and now we have to understand that relationship. But we've done all the other work, but it's like, oh, it just keeps coming and it just keeps coming. So how do we stay present to that, to those little triggers?
I even am like, sometimes you can do something as simple as, depending where you're at in the relationship with another person, let's say, even let them know the journey that you're on.
Mm-hmm.
And like even ask for their support on the journey, right? Because we do need, like, when we're undoing these patterns, we do need support to like keep holding the vision, because it's always easier to go back to where we've been because it's denser, it's already in the body,
Mm-hmm.
already so dense. But this other pattern, this other way, hasn't fully landed yet. And so it's like one is just so much easier to keep going back to. And so all the support you can call on as you
Mm-hmm.
move towards this new vision of yourself, not because there's anything to fix. It's actually not even a new vision of yourself. It's like who you would be if you stripped back all the layers of conditioning. It's like who you would be would just be you,
Mm-hmm.
not worried.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And that unraveling to your inner being, to your innermost being, is comes with awareness, right? We can't know what we can't see. So having people like you in the world to help us just even understand where we are at in that moment, to say like, no, this is something that might be external to yourself, or this is a story that you carry that is a habit within yourself. Like, let's take a look. And then from there, we can call on for support, or we can figure out our tools. But yeah, awareness, I believe is the first key. And so it's such important work, what you do. And I think, I'm sure a lot of women are so grateful that you're in this sphere, helping them to discover that part of themselves.
And I'm grateful to all the women who are, you know, supporting the path in some way, whether it's like coming in as clients or mentors, or like, it's like we're all doing it together. We're all weaving this new way together.
I love that, the collaboration of this new wave of womanship.
Exactly, right? Like, even like bringing in cyclical living, it's like all these pieces come together and form this beautiful picture.
And I love that you brought that up. And I think that is really important, because we know that in our cyclical living, there are phases that are so much easier to vocalize and to call in support. And then there's phases within our cycle that we just need to be inward, and we need to cocoon with ourselves. And maybe there's memories that are a little bit louder that we can't ignore, but with support and with those relationships, we can discover and uncover and be like, okay, it's just part of the cycle. And when I bleed, I will release and I will renew, and I will be back in my building phase, ready to go again.
Yeah.
And that's so nice.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the pleasure zone. I know.
Talk about the pleasure. Yeah.
This is new. This is a new addition. So we spoke a little bit about what it was, but like, how did it come to be? You spoke about you and Jack having that, the pleasure always being between the two of you. So how did you make that like aha moment, that discovery of, wait a minute, pleasure is for me too?
Yeah. Okay. Well, so I think it was sometime last year where it's been a couple of years where I've been really shifting the focus from like I've done enough healing work. I think I'm just really ready to enjoy my life. And I'm it's not, everyone's path is different, and what everyone needs at a certain time is different, but it felt like I'm complete. Like, healing is never done, but it felt like there was this way that was calling me forward that was more joyful and more there was more enjoyment coming from it.
Yeah, 100% can relate. At one point, there's only so much you can dig. And then you're like, I think I'm causing myself more harm by staying here. Like, I need to just live life and love. And like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I started to go on this journey of kind of exploring, like, where are we always looking at things as pain and problem? And how can we start to look at things as like, ooh, like pleasure and desire? And so I started to just like play with these concepts, like, oh, from problem to pleasure, from problem to pleasure, like, and then, you know, learning existential kink work and just on my exploration. And then last year, there's a woman I'm connected to. And so she has this program called Mystic Priestess Awakening, and it's all about the womb. And as soon as she put out the offer, I was like, sign me up. So it was just this draw to, like, I've been feeling the call for years, but kept kind of putting it aside. Like, it's not important. Like, it's just not on the priority list. Or that's what I told myself, probably because it held something really big for me. And so it was within that program that I was realizing, like, oh my goodness, like, I don't even self-pleasure anymore. And even what I considered self-pleasure was really just masturbating. It was not this like pleasure experience, this whole like setting the stage and setting the scene and like making love to myself. It was a means to an end. And so it was really within that program that I started to go deeper into, like, oh, there is something so beautifully savage within me that really wants to be untamed. It's been there since I was a child, and that was really shut down. Like, I was the little girl who was rubbing up on every corner and was being told, like, stop doing that. And so,
as well.
I have a feeling you would be. I can recognize you. I can recognize the ones. And like, and my daughter now, I have a 3-year-old daughter, she's almost 4, and she's the same. And she's been the same since she was about a year old. And so there is this real assignment now. Like it's no longer like I can no longer ignore it. There is this real like call to it's this feeling of it's time. It's time, and it's time to go deeper. And like there's, you know, sometimes we get so uncomfortable in life in the moments of the unknown. And I have this theory that if we got more comfortable within the unknown of our womb and like the yoni, like it's so similar to being in that like liminal space of like we don't know what's next. And if we could get used to like the darkness of the womb, then connecting to the darkness of the womb and just like this vast, it's unknown to us, that
Mm-hmm.
the way it translates in life is that we can be more comfortably in the unknown because we know how to like quite viscerally connect to that energy. So it's just been a fun exploration. I've gotten myself some eggs and some wands and my oils and just my different tools to spend that time with myself weekly. And now taking my people, like we'll do these Zoom calls together where they'll turn off their cameras and I'll guide them through like body caressing and yoni gazing and, you know, like starting to just, you know, slowly but surely take them deeper into that space. And the breakthroughs are bigger than any conversation that we could be having.
Wow. What does a breakthrough look like? Can I ask
Yeah.
that?
Like let's say, oh, I never realized how much I thought this part of my body was ugly. And like, what does that say about me? What does that say about the way I feel about myself? If I think this is ugly and I don't want anyone to look at it. And like, you know, and then I had this one woman and she's very like, she's more buttoned up and she's like, I feel like such a badass. It's like Thursday afternoon and I've got my mirror out and like my kids aren't home and you know, she's just like wanting to reawaken that zest with her partner, let's say, and realizing that it isn't actually anything between him and her. It's all her and her. It's like she's not plugged in, like she's
Yeah.
not plugged in. So of course, the moment that he wants to approach that, she's like, but I'm like not even there.
Yeah. We
Like
have
I'm up here, like you want me to come down here and I'm so far. This distance is so far.
Yeah, I think what you're diving into is so important for women. It's so important. I think the just hearing the breakthrough of a woman saying like, "Oh, I thought I was so ugly," or staying up in our heads and not being able to come down to our bodies. I think it's a conditioning of how we grew up and how uneducated we are about our bodies and our systems and our cycles and how we live. I hate to use this word because it's, you know, we dive into it so much, but the patriarch world of men, and we live in a men's world built by men, and it's a 24-hour cycle, and our bodies are just not supposed to be in that cycle. We can't keep up. So we are hard on ourselves. We
Yeah.
shame ourselves. We're meant to be little men, like pushing, but we're not little men. We're women. We have a completely different DNA, biology, different brain and activations and how we use it. And so to not understand ourselves is to almost like it's to stop pleasure. It's
Yeah.
to suffer. It's to live in suffering until we awaken to say, oh, we are different. We need different tools. We need to understand how to activate that pleasure within us, to understand who we are as women.
Yeah, like to slow it down, right? To slow it down. It doesn't mean you can't do big things or move fast in life, but it's like you got to also have the capacity to like bring it back in, to rein it in and come inward. It's like it can't always be this production on the outside, right? And that's been a journey for me because I grew up with a really fast moving mother and I spent a lot of time with her. And I, you know, like everyone else, was created within her body. So it is part of my system, this like this tendency to go fast and speed through and not slow down and self-abandon, right? And forget for the sake of like productivity and what everybody else needs. And so it really feels like the journey of a lifetime that I will be on to just go deeper and deeper and deeper. Like there's no end. And you know, even when somebody tells me like, yeah, I have a great sex life, I'm like, yeah, there's infinite more.
Yeah, there's never enough.
There's no like pinnacle. There's
Yeah.
actually no pinnacle. Just like there's no like, I love myself. There's always more. You know, there's whatever it is. There's more money to be made. There's more love to be felt. There's more impact to be made. There's deeper orgasms to be had. Like there's
Yeah.
infinite more.
Like, yeah, if you're picking up another self-help book, there's more joy to be had instead.
There is.
I want to go back and touch upon what you said about your mom making you, because I think that is a really beautiful way to showcase the slowing down. Like a woman 3D prints a human inside of her body. Like that is a beautiful capability and such an incredible capability to have. But it takes time. It takes slowing down. It takes nourishing your body. It takes knowing your body to be able to do these things. Your body will 3D print a womb every month. That is also huge work that your body is doing every month. And if you don't slow down, you miss that beauty. You miss that beauty of your body telling you, okay, now we're going to warm up. Now we're going to cool down. Now we're going to be doing this incredible thing that, you know, no one else can do except for your body.
Yeah.
And so I think it is about slowing down. I think it is about going into that self-discovery, and you can only discover when you pause, when you rest, when you take the time to get to know yourself. So it's beautiful. That's gorgeous.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it's powerful work. It's amazing.
It's been really, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, please go. I don't want to cut off your
It's been really, 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 really rewarding to dive into this more deeply myself, and then to have clients, or just, I want to say women, who are so open and curious and like ready for me to guide them, even though I'm still new on this journey, and they are like, take us with you. And it has just been the most rewarding aspect of what I do.
I think growing up, I was always envious of men and how quick they were to get turned on and stay turned on, and how pleasure just kind of ran through them. Like they would get to orgasm so quickly, or they would just enjoy the entire process, where sometimes I would fall into my mind, or sometimes I would be like, now, like what? Like,
right.
There's no way.
Right.
There's absolutely no way.
I need a shower. I need to,
Like, no, thank you. And so sometimes I would rely on the drink and having a glass of wine to kind of self-soothe and relax and take me into that space. And I remember finding my own journey into it and saying like, whoa, like, why am I using this if I continuously just enjoy myself or just give myself pleasure? Or when I look in a mirror, I don't insult myself. I meet myself with grace, and I love looking at myself in the mirror. Things slowly started to shift for me as well. It was such a different way. And then now when my husband comes to me, I'm like, I'm always in the mood.
I love hearing that.
And you're absolutely right. There's no peak. There's no ceiling. It is continuous.
100%. It's like we are so much more complex, and like our parts are so much less obvious, right? And so there is this like deeper invitation, this deeper exploration.
Like you said, it's in the darkness, so we have to shed a light on it. And it's not just putting a light on and looking, it's admiring, it's telling, it's speaking to your body and saying how much you love it. I think it's especially important in this day and age with social media and how everyone looks online and how everyone is and how we compare. I mean, it's normal. It's
it
part
is.
of our, you know, we see something, we think it's beautiful, we want it. And we want to be sexually desired, but I agree wholeheartedly. It starts with you. It starts with you looking at yourself and saying, I am a desirable woman, and I believe I'm beautiful. You know, it just starts there.
Yeah. And I was watching something the other day about this woman who, you know, she acted in her whole life on different stages, and she said, you want to take on more of the identity of like the hot woman versus just like cute, you know, like that more seductive. And this just goes so beautifully with what we're saying. She's like, all you have to do is go slower, move more slowly, speak more slowly. And so it's like anyone can tap into that sensual, like provocative energy. It doesn't come with a certain body shape or a certain, it's truly like the energy of like, are you willing to pause, go slow, like go deeper, make eye contact, look away? Like, are you willing to play with that energy?
I love that. In one of my, so I'm taking a myofascial class, and one of their exercises is to simply walk with one foot in front of the other, because we've come so far away from that in all of our exercises. It's, you know, feet, hip distance, feet, hip distance. So the way we walk is now feet in front of our hips instead of in front of our groin. And I remember doing it for the first time, and I was like, whoa. Like,
right.
all of a sudden I feel this animalistic nature coming out in me, and I'm like, wow, that's just from walking.
Yeah.
I didn't need to do anything else, you
Yeah.
know? My
Yeah.
body responding to how my gait is changing, and all of a sudden I am slowing down. I'm taking notice of my hips moving, my rib cage moving. I'm like, wow, I must be so sexy right now to the people.
I'm sure you are. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, it is just slowing down. It's taking note of where you are, and yeah, not being embarrassed of just taking that pause. And as I'm saying it, I'm like, I'm losing my train of thought as I'm saying that so much, but I don't care. I look good while I'm doing it. So how can women get in touch with you? How can they work with you?
Yeah, honestly, like send me an email or pop over on Instagram and say hi. Instagram's a great place. I'm there. So my handle is at Diana Eskander _ and email is hello@dianaeskander.com. And we always got like, I'm running a program right now called Like a Queen, communication to inspire his deeper commitment to you and to what you want. And so there's always something like a smaller bite where we can begin together, so you can just step into the world and see what the energy is like and see what the conversation is like and the embodiment is like, and then we decide from there.
I love it. Well, I'm so excited for women to work with you, because for me, even though it's not what you do today, I can just imagine where it's gone. And I'm so excited for all these women just to be in the receiving era.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, just sitting in front of you, I'm like, okay, shoulders back. There's a recognition of my goddess energy. So thank you for bringing it to the surface.
Thank you. I'm so grateful.